In 1884, the United States Supreme Court made a decision that would fundamentally reshape American constitutional law. The case was Hurtado versus California, and the court declared that nothing in the Constitution should exclude the best ideas of all systems and of every age. What the justices were specifically referencing was Roman law, a legal system that had been dead for over 1,000 years. But here's what most people don't realize. Roman law wasn't dead at all. It was quietly operating as the hidden foundation of modern legal systems worldwide. Today, we're going to explore how Roman legal principles established over 2,000 years ago continue to shape how corporations gain power over individuals, how administrative agencies bypass democratic oversight, and how international organizations override national sovereignty. This isn't ancient history. This is the blueprint for modern institutional oppression, and it's operating right now in ways that most people never recognize. To understand how Roman law continues to control modern society, we need to examine what made the Roman legal system so effective at maintaining elite power. The genius of Roman law wasn't just its complexity. It was its ability to create the appearance of fairness and democratic participation, while ensuring that real power remained concentrated in the hands of a professional elite. The Roman legal system operated through a two-stage procedure. In the first stage, a praetor would define the legal issue and determine what remedies were available. In the second stage, an ordinary citizen would hear the evidence and make a decision. This sounds democratic, but here's the crucial detail. The ordinary citizens could only award money damages. When more powerful remedies were needed, like injunctions that could actually stop harmful behavior, those had to be provided by the magistrates themselves. This created a two-tier system of justice. Ordinary people could participate in legal proceedings, but only in ways that didn't threaten institutional power. Real legal authority remained with the professional class. Cambridge professor Peter Stein documents that this structure enabled professional legal monopoly over legal interpretation while maintaining the appearance of organic legal development. Roman law also established that all legal personality was created by the state. You couldn't just form an organization and expect it to have legal rights. The state had to grant those rights, and the state could take them away. This gave Roman authorities tremendous control over which groups could participate in legal and economic activity. Here's where most people have been completely misled about how Roman law operates in the modern world. We're taught that there are two major legal traditions: civil law systems based on Roman law, and common law systems that developed independently and are relatively immune from Roman influence. This distinction suggests that countries like the United States have somehow escaped Roman legal control. This is fundamentally wrong. According to Cambridge University's analysis, the Roman law of the classical period is actually closer in character to common law than it is to modern civil law systems. Both Roman law and common law were built up through case-by-case development, with law perceived as discovered through debates among experts rather than as general rules laid down by a legislature. What this means is that both civil law and common law systems preserve Roman patterns of elite legal control, just through different mechanisms. The University of Delaware research reveals that Roman law has been cited at minimum 153 times by the Supreme Court, with a third of those citations concentrated among just 6 justices. This creates a specialized knowledge base that enables certain justices to exercise disproportionate influence by accessing ancient precedents unavailable to others. When the Supreme Court can't find adequate American legal precedent for what it wants to do, it simply reaches back 2,000 years to Roman law. This creates judicial authority to justify contemporary decisions that may not be democratically accountable. One of the most important ways that Roman law controls modern society is through corporate personhood. Most people think that corporations having legal rights is a modern development. The reality is that corporate personhood is a direct continuation of Roman legal principles designed to enable elite control over economic activity. University research documents that in Rome, all legal personality was created by the state. organizations could only acquire legal personhood by explicit permission of the state. The Roman system granted legal personhood to municipalities, public works companies, and voluntary associations called collegia. These organizations served state interests while providing benefits to their members. This is exactly how modern corporate law operates. Corporations must be chartered by state governments to achieve legal personhood. The state determines which entities receive legal rights and which don't. And just like in Rome, these state-created legal persons often possess rights that exceed those of natural persons. The University of Chicago Law School confirms that the Roman peculium system, where slaves could operate businesses under their master's authority, was the direct origin of the limited liability corporation. The master received the benefits while being protected from the risks. Modern corporate structures enable the same pattern. Elite owners receive the benefits while being protected from personal responsibility for corporate actions. Federal agencies like the Environmental Protection Agency, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the Federal Reserve operate through authority structures that are direct descendants of Roman administrative systems. In the Roman Empire, praetorian prefects exercised administrative authority that was independent of the Senate or popular assemblies. They had the power to make rules, enforce those rules, and adjudicate disputes. This is exactly how modern administrative agencies function. Federal agencies have rulemaking authority that creates binding legal obligations without legislative approval. They have enforcement authority that can impose penalties without traditional judicial oversight. And just like the Roman praetorian prefects, agency officials are often insulated from direct democratic accountability. The Federal Reserve System provides a perfect example. The Board of Governors serves 14-year terms, longer than most elected officials. This structure enables monetary policy to operate independently of democratic political processes, protecting elite financial interests from popular political pressure. But administrative agencies don't just operate independently of democratic control. They often serve the interests of the industries they're supposed to regulate. This reproduces the Roman collegium system, where state-chartered organizations served elite interests while maintaining the appearance of public oversight. Perhaps the most sophisticated way that Roman legal principles control modern society is through international legal frameworks. The Unidroit principles of international commercial contracts govern international business relationships worldwide through principles directly traceable to Roman contractual concepts. This creates consistent legal frameworks for international business that operate independently of national democratic institutions. The World Trade Organization has dispute resolution panels with binding authority over national governments. Trade rules can supersede national democratic legislation. Enforcement mechanisms can impose economic sanctions on countries that don't comply with international trade requirements. Investor-state dispute settlement mechanisms enable multinational corporations to sue governments for policies that affect corporate profitability. These arbitration panels operate outside national court systems and can force changes in national legislation. This reproduces the Roman pattern where imperial authority could override local political decisions when they conflicted with elite economic interests. These international frameworks enable policy implementation that bypasses national democratic processes while maintaining the appearance of international cooperation and technical expertise. Just like Roman imperial law enabled central authority to override local political decisions, modern international law enables global elite coordination to override national democratic processes. Understanding how Roman legal principles operate across different institutional contexts reveals consistent patterns that enable elite control while maintaining the appearance of legitimate authority. These patterns provide analytical tools for recognizing Roman legal influence in contemporary institutions. The first pillar is hierarchical legal authority. Roman law established that different classes of legal persons should have different legal rights. This continues through corporate personhood, administrative agency authority, and international organization membership. Look for institutional structures where elite groups possess legal authority that operates independently of democratic political processes. The second pillar is professional legal monopoly. Roman law created a jurist class with exclusive authority over legal interpretation through expert knowledge rather than democratic input. This continues through bar admission requirements, administrative expertise, and international expert panels. Look for professional groups that claim exclusive authority based on technical expertise while operating independently of democratic accountability. The third pillar is state creation of legal personhood. Roman law established that all legal personality was created by the state, enabling control over which entities could participate in legal and economic activity. This continues through corporate charters, professional licensing, and international organization membership. The fourth pillar is remedy control and access limitation. Roman law created a two-tier system where ordinary citizens could only award money damages, while elite magistrates controlled powerful remedies. This continues through administrative enforcement authority, international arbitration, and judicial procedures that favor institutional defendants. The fifth pillar is democratic bypass mechanisms. Roman law enabled legal and administrative authority to operate independently of popular assemblies, justified through appeals to expertise or necessity. This continues through administrative rulemaking, international agreements, and judicial precedents that implement policy without democratic accountability. Understanding Roman legal influence in modern institutions isn't meant to create despair about elite control. It's to provide analytical tools that enable effective democratic participation and institutional accountability. When you understand how Roman legal patterns operate, you can evaluate institutional claims to legitimate authority and organize for reforms that enhance democratic governance. When administrative agencies claim authority based on technical expertise, you can ask whether their decisions reflect democratic input or elite interests. When corporations claim legal rights based on personhood, you can ask whether these rights serve public purposes or private profits. When international organizations claim authority based on global cooperation, you can ask whether their decisions reflect popular will or elite coordination. The analytical framework we've developed provides tools for institutional analysis that can be applied across different policy areas and political contexts. Understanding the 5 pillars of Roman legal oppression enables pattern recognition that reveals how ancient mechanisms of elite control continue to operate through modern institutional structures. This knowledge doesn't guarantee successful reform, but it enables informed democratic participation by revealing how institutional power actually operates, rather than how it claims to operate. The Roman legal system was designed to maintain elite power while creating the appearance of fairness and democratic participation. Understanding how these mechanisms continue to operate provides the knowledge necessary for creating institutional structures that actually serve democratic purposes rather than elite interests. That's the foundation for genuine democratic empowerment in contemporary political and economic systems. If you enjoyed this episode and found it valuable, please comment below any insights you may have come to while watching this video. Do you notice any other ways Republican values are being circumvented in America by bureaucratic process and procedure? If you're interested in going even deeper down this rabbit hole, subscribe and stay tuned for part 2, where we will dive deeper into the more esoteric implications of this topic. We will examine how the United States of America pioneered unique individualism that pierced through the veil of this web of oppression. We will reflect on America's founding approach to lawful organization of legal systems based on simplicity, Republican values, and natural rights endowed by God and the sanctity of human life that the Founding Fathers envisioned. We will then see how this vision is unfortunately being drowned out in the modern era, increasingly as the culture of the day more and more rejects natural order for increasing government and institutional rule. You will not want to miss it. Keep evolving and recognizing the truth of freedom through lessons in history.